What's going on, y'all? I want to make a quick little part two. Speaking on semen retention, no FAP, no porn, basically just a part two to the video that I previously uploaded. Now, in this particular video, I wanted to speak on a few different things. I wanted to speak on how I successfully kicked the addiction of masturbation, how I successfully kicked the addiction of porn, and also how I haven't actually had a ejaculatory orgasm in how long has it been? About 3 months. It's been about 3 months since I've had, an ejaculatory orgasm. Really haven't had any sort of orgasm, dry, whatever. I haven't had any. And so, obviously that's the semen retention that I'm speaking on. And a lot of the things that I've done in this short amount of, in this short time span, a lot of people think that it's impossible. And first and foremost, need I remind you that anytime you go into anything in life and you want to complete a goal, accomplish a goal, and you're going into it thinking that you can't do it, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to do it. Especially when it comes to kicking addictions and changing your life around. It takes a tremendous amount of willpower to actually, kick addiction, because whether or not you're physically addicted or not, at least 80% of any sort of addiction is all psychological. Whether it's cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, video games, porn, whatever the case may be, a lot of that addiction is psychological. And if you're going into the situation with the mindset that you're gonna fail, you are gonna fail. I kind of touched on this in the last video, but the main tool that I used to quit was just looking myself in the mirror, just contemplating and just engaging in introspection. And I told myself, I'm not gonna masturbate anymore. I'm not gonna watch porn anymore. And that was the end of it. The first 2 times, I tried to almost like make deals with myself. I tried to tell myself, well, I'll just quit for maybe 2 weeks and, see where it goes. Or, I'll just do the 3-month reboot period. What the hell is that? I got a pimple on my lip. That's embarrassing. But I told myself I would just do the 3-month reboot period and then I'll see where it goes. I would just make these little deals with myself. And I would go each day to day and I would say, well, if I could just get through the day, I'll be okay. But that's, in my opinion, a very weak mindset. What it just took for me was just telling myself that I'm going to stop, and that's the end of it. And with that mindset, I successfully kicked the addiction. Now, as far as different tools and things that I use, I didn't use any tools. When you go to these forums and things, you hear people talking about, putting different things on your computer and on your phone so you actually can't look at the porn. That doesn't work, in my opinion, if you're really addicted. Like, for example, I got an iPhone, and I'm sure Androids have this feature as well, but I got an iPhone, and there's a feature where you can just go to the privacy settings on your browser, and you could just say, take all adult content off. I need a password to look at adult content. And, but all that does is just make it just adds one extra step to you watching porn, because if you really put it in your head you're going to watch porn, all you're going to do is go to settings and go to that password and put it in. So that's not going to help you. A lot of people say, we'll try to go out in public and things like that. Now, I've never personally done this, but I've read on these forums and things, some people's addictions are so strong that they get the urge and they'll go into the bathroom at school, at work, and go ahead and handle their business. So all these different tools and tips and tricks, they work to a certain extent, but really being successful with this and any, like I said, any other addiction, it all comes from a psychological difference. You have to change yourself psychologically, and you have to push yourself to change. Like I said, I didn't use any of those tips and tricks. I didn't try to unfollow all these different people on Instagram that might be potential triggers, and I didn't block things on my phone, block things on my computer, and you know, force myself to go outside at times when I didn't want to go outside. You know, if I was home alone, you know, whatever, I'm home alone. I need to beat this addiction. You know, it's just like an alcoholic. Sure, you know, it's a good idea to get drinks out of the house so you're not tempted, but at the end of the day, man, you're going to have to learn how to be able to say no to drinking. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to say no to smoking weed, to smoking cigarettes, whatever the case may be. When you've really conquered an addiction, you know you've conquered it when you can be in the presence of those certain triggers and you still don't want to partake in that activity anymore. That's when you've really conquered the addiction. And that's what I've done with porn and masturbation. You know, if porn pulls up right now, I inadvertently pull it up, or, you know, I pull it up advertently, it's not going to tempt me to masturbate because I've conquered that addiction. And, you know, even semen retention. The first few times I engaged in lascivious activities doing semen retention, I did have that urge to go ahead and finish, to go ahead and come. But, you know, I'm at a point now where, you know, no matter what we're doing, you know, she could be riding my dick, you know, like she's a horse jockey, but I'm still not gonna allow myself to get to that point just because of the benefits. And I might make another video speaking on the benefits of semen retention within itself, but all you guys can Google and look at other videos of the benefits of semen retention, and all those benefits is why I do it. But, you know, I just really want to stress to you guys that the real key to really beating this addiction all comes from psychological change. It all comes from psychological change. You can change things in this world, things physically, and they might help you to a certain extent, but you have to really want to stop up here. Because when you have an addiction, if you want to do something, you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter whether or not you've deployed certain tools and you've put yourself in certain circumstances that make it less likely for you to do it. If you want to do it, you're going to do it. So, just one more thing before I end this video. I've never had a wet dream in my life. I've never had a wet dream in my life. And, you know, a lot of people talk about how they've had wet dreams and, you know, that's the way of your body healing. I've never had a wet dream, and I've had sex. I have looked at porn a few times in my thing, not, you know, looking at it in a sexually charged manner, you know, just like certain funny videos and things and accidents. But through all of that, sexual encounters, seeing some porn, you know, lusting after certain girls and having, you know, like I said, lascivious thoughts, never had a wet dream. And a lot of the reason that I haven't had wet dreams is because I discharge my sexual energy in other outlets. You know, I exercise very rigorously. I exercise every day rigorously. I have a healthy diet. I meditate. I stretch and do yoga. I do all these different things to release my sexual energy. You know, I'm not all pent up. And for a lot of you guys who are having these wet dreams and you're having all these different urges, you're having these involuntary kegels, you know, why don't you just squat down? Just squat. Just squat, you know, just a normal squat. Like you got a barbell on your back. Just do a normal ass to grass squat if you're flexible enough. But just squat as deep as you can. And for all of you people who are suffering from those involuntary kegels or wet dreams and things, you'll feel the tension within your pelvic region. You're too tense. You got too much energy down there. And if you continue to squat and do other stretches that really stretch out your pelvic floor, your hip region and all of that, which a lot of us do have a very tense pelvic floor from sitting all day. But, you know, I could do a full split. So I never really experienced all of those things because I exercise a lot. So I'm getting rid of that energy and I'm keeping my pelvic floor stretched out and relaxed. So, you know, my three tips and pointers for all you guys who watch this video, what I want you guys to do is 3 different things. First off, discharge that sexual energy. If you're tired from working out, you're eating healthy, you're meditating, you're constantly engaging in introspection, you're not going to have wet dreams and all these different urges. Whether or not you're engaging in activities with girls or not. So, introspection and discharging that sexual energy. So discharging sexual energy, changing yourself psychologically, and third, just physically keep yourself untense. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself stretched out and relaxed in that pelvic region. And I promise you'll have success with no fap. I promise you'll have success with no porn. I promise you'll have success with semen retention. You keep yourself relaxed. You discharge that sexual energy, and psychologically you decide that you want to make a change. You really want to make a change. Not that you wish you were different, but you actually tell yourself, I'm going to be different. And there's a difference. So, do all those three things, man, and you'll have success. I appreciate y'all watching. Peace.